What's happening, everybody? It's Sunday, about 8:30, 76 degrees already. Summertime is in full swing. But this morning, the missus actually got Sunday off for a change. We're going to head down and take some parts down for the Blazer down to Jason's house over in Clarkston. He lives in Clarkston now. He moved, I think I might have told you guys that before, that he actually rents his shop out because Jason has a full-time job as a machine operator. So he rents his shop out to his boy and I believe one of his friends, and they just work on regular car stuff there. But Jason, you know, with all the hours that he's working, he's just picking and choosing his jobs. And like I said, he's a machine operator for the state of Michigan, and during the summer he's just busy. And he's been calling me and saying, man, I'm so sorry, you know, we're getting stuff done on the truck, but it's going to take a minute, you know. And I told him I'm in no big hurry. I mean, I want it done 100%, you know, and he's doing a kick-ass job and I appreciate it. So I'm in no big yank, you know. I'm still collecting parts. We actually got our camshaft in finally, which I wasn't too pleased with it, which I'll show you guys later in a video or a different video about it. I'm not going to send it back because it took 3.5 months to get it. I took it out of the package. You can see some black marks around the main lobes. Not the, you know, not the lift lobes, but the main bearing lobes. Like I say, the lobes, I guess it would be, or whatever. Anyway, you can see the lobes on, or some black marking on some lobes, and I had looked, you know, through the plastic. I was like, man, I mean, hopefully that ain't, you know, we can't catch a fingernail on it or something stupid. So I took it out of the plastic, and I mean, it's smooth as butter, so you know, that ain't an issue. But I just don't understand why there's tooling marks or machining marks in there when I've never seen a camshaft with any of them black lines in it like that before on a couple of the lobes. But it is what it is. But anyways, guys, I figured I'd bring you along today. I'm going to back the truck up to the garage, and we'll get the stuff loaded up, and I'll show you what we're taking down to them. And then when we get down that way, we'll pick this video back up and show you what we did get done, or he did get done, and where we're at as far as where the Blazer's at. All right, looks like we're about to get some rain. Like Jenny said, of course we are. It's her day off. Instead of being able to hang out in her pool, it's gonna rain. It's only supposed to be a brief shower though. But this is what I'm taking down to him right now. We're taking our tunnels back. We got the front tunnel, we got our rear tunnel, taking our Kirky back so he can get that put back in, because I got to have tabs, 2 tabs welded for the belts for the harnesses. I didn't like the position that the other ones were welded in. It wouldn't work for the crotch belt, so I'm having them re-weld. Instead of to the back wall, we're going to weld them to the chassis bars in the back. And I'm also taking my radiator down there because the other guy that had it has got this 45 coming this way, because on the passenger front, or passenger upper fender up here, like, he had a remote water pump that fed just blocks that were bolted on the front of the big block. It didn't have electric water pump like the Mazier that we have on it. He had it's just 2 plates or 2 nipples that bolt on to, like, AN fittings, I guess, that would bolt on the block where the water pump would bolt, and then the lines would run to a canister style electric water pump, and that's what setup he had on that. But I'm having him chop that off, and we're going to put a new outlet on the bottom of that. He's got to clean up that. I mean, it looks like it's been, I don't know, this is a This ain't an aftermarket radiator. Somebody built this radiator. I don't know if it was a radiator shop or somebody. I don't know. But anyway, all the other welds look perfect on it. Look good. But that one, yuck. So we're going to address that. We're going to cut that off, clean it up, and weld a new outlet on it. That way it can use traditional. That way we can use traditional style hoses for big block Chevy, right angles and stuff. I ain't got that kind of money to buy that remote location water pump setup. I feel it should have came with the truck when I bought it. Since he already had all the holes and the radiator was set up for it, but you don't get everything. And here comes the rain. So I'm gonna get this stuff loaded up before I get soaked. I'll bring you guys back. All right, everybody, we made it down here to Jason's house. Like I said in an earlier clip, he rents his shop out to some people because he's got a full-time job with the state as a machine operator. So he has no time over there, but as you can see, he's still got plenty of work here. I don't know what year this, what year did you say this was, Jason?
Like a 30 Model A.
30 Model A he built, how old were you?
1998.
He built, this was his first car that he ever built in 1998. Pretty badass. This is what's got him into the chassis work and what he does today on the side. I know my big ass wouldn't fit in here. I mean, if we can put this into perspective, I mean, it's below my tits. It's definitely a low car, but it's badass. And of course, we got his old school rig. I think it's an S10 chassis. He just switched it to LS powered with the precision turbo setup in the back. He's got my 400 turbo that Tony built for us and my converter in there, our old shifter, our drop spindles. But no, he said that turbo woke this thing right up, so that's pretty awesome. He said that LS was a turd without it, for all you LS fans out there. He said, if you ain't got power adder, they're turds. I figured they'll love that, huh? There's a good shot of the other car. But we got, as you can see, we dropped off parts of the blazer. We got the seat, the harnesses, the tunnels. We got it's dirty, dusty, just like our shop. Everything's sealed up still though, but we got the headers done, pretty much. I think I could get welded up yet, but inside of the what is that, a 5 or a 4.5 inch outlet?
4.5.
4.5 inch outlet. He's chipping away at it when he's got time, and like I told him, hey man, I get it. You work 60 hours a week and you come out here on your day off. I get it, and I'm in no big yank. I mean, it takes time for me to save up money to buy the parts. I mean, we're close. Like I said, we got the camshaft in now. We got our arc panel for the wiring. I'm going to order a set of coilovers, and me and Jason, we were putting a game plan on with electronic board that we're going to mount inside. Put the mock-up trans in and measure for that chrome moly drive shaft. And when I showed you guys earlier, we actually stuck the radiator in here, and he told me to get a hold of Be Cool radiator and get the big outlet, and we're gonna chop that off and re-weld it on. But he's been working on this also, 69 Camaro. This is his street car, he says. Go figure, huh? This is why he's got to have the job that he has to be able to pay for some shit like this. I think he's going to be scared to drive this motherfucker, to tell you the truth. You going to be scared, Jason?
Nope.
I don't know what size. I didn't ask what size. It's run what you brung and hope you bring enough if you get next to this sucker, I tell you that. But custom built headers also for this. Are that the same size tube used for mine?
No, them are a little bigger.
Obviously it needs it a little bit bigger. But yeah, that's one bad. Let me see if I can zoom out a little bit here. This is one bad boy. But as you guys can see, I mean, when he left the shop over, you know, rented it out to his whoever, he bring his chassis table. He's still building his own chassis and stuff like that. And he's picking and choosing on other jobs. He said he don't have to do it. For guys like me, he said he don't mind doing work for himself, obviously, and his partner on this car. But other than that, he don't have to. And I get it. He's done it since he was 16 years old. I'll just set up here. Oh, there's that 400 mock-up case right here. Getting ready to build his center with a cross member. And for all you guys that say that he can't fucking weld, there you go. Because I know I got a couple haters in here. Looks good to me. Or maybe I'm just not as picky as some people. If you're perfect, then ain't nobody perfect in my opinion.
Only people I see talking to the fuckers that can't do shit themselves.
Exactly. If you claim to be fucking perfect, then I don't need to hang out with you because I'm not perfect and we just wouldn't get along. Because I know I'm not perfect. Oh, it's got a blow off on the intake too, huh? Do I dare to ask how many horsepower this kit is?
Each kit's probably 400 to 600 and the motor made 1450.
Woo! Well, there you go. You heard it right from the man. So, run what you brung, hope you brought enough. But anyways, guys, he's a busy man as usual. It's Sunday, his day off. I'm sure he's got stuff to do. Let whatever that is go by. Sorry about that, but I'm sure he's got shit to do. I got shit to do. We got the parts down here. We still own it. It's still here. But everything takes time. And for all you guys out there, it's like, well, ain't the Blazer done yet? Send me some money and we'll get it done faster. Alrighty. Just left Jason's. We stopped down here and right off of I-69 and Irish Road exit. We're gonna get some lunch. But yeah, he's got some pretty nice cars there. He's got his boy working there too on some other stuff. Like he had a Monte Carlo there that they switched over. That's originally a 71, but it had a 72 grill in it. And 71s have the marker light in the bumper on the Monte Carlo. And 72's got the marker light in the grill. So Jason put the correct, or Jason's son put the correct bumper on and wired it and did a bunch of work with that. But yeah, he definitely got some nice cars, boy. And I tell you what, that race car is gonna be a bad boy. Currently 78 degrees, 87% humidity is what they're saying. Holy, it's hot out. It's muggy. I can deal with the 78. I don't know how you guys down in Florida or deep down in Texas, Rocker Pat, I don't know how you do it, man. Say hi to the missus.
Hello. Pool day.
Pool day. She wants to get home and do some pool day, which doesn't sound like a bad idea to me. But anyways, guys, I'll bring you back when we get to the house or anything else happens. We'll bring you back. We just went through Otisville. We're northbound M15, taking the back way. And the next town coming up, or maybe two more towns coming up, we seen a stack of pallets out by the road at a business for free, so we're gonna snatch them up. It says Clio that way. So we're at the M15 and Vienna Road, passing Vienna Road. Gordon Walker, what's up? Passing Vienna Road, M15. Old Gordon, he's a long-time subscriber and we appreciate him. So give him a shout out as we're going through his area. He's from Clarkston area also. So shout out to Gordon Walker. But anyway, we're gonna stop and grab them pallets because we're having a family get together with all of our kids and grandkids and hopefully Jenny's mom, and we're gonna have a big bonfire and let loose a little bit.
In memory of my dad.
In memory of her dad. Rest in peace, Dave. But yeah, so we're gonna do that. But I figured it would show you some old country scenery. Pretty nice cruise out this way. And another month, we'll be doing that, camping. All right, well, as you guys can see, we got the stuff dropped off over at Jason's place over in Clarkston, Davison area. It's been a couple days since we got back, and I told you in the video that I would show you the camshaft that Howard's sent us out. It took us 3.5 months to have it built, because I had it built for my combination, plus we did the 4.7 firing order swap on it. And like I said, it's not showing grooves in it, but I'll give you guys a shot here of what's happening. As you guys can see here, looks like it's got tooling marks. I've never seen that on the lobes. I mean, they're smooth, you can't feel anything. But it's already starting to sweat because of the humidity out here. I got to get it back in that bag. Let me get it back in the bag because I don't want it to get rusty, and I'll bring you guys right back and we'll talk about it. All right, I gave it a healthy dose of WD-40 and put it in the back in the bag. We're going to take it back in the house where it's nice and cool and not humid. But I also ended up getting, I talked to my boy Steve out there that does all my tire work. And they said they don't do performance alignments, which on a performance alignment, you're supposed to have your ride height set what you think the vehicle's going to be going down track, and you set your toe, caster, and camber accordingly. So I just went and bought measurement toe boards. They bolt onto your rotor. You hook a tape on one side, the other one bolts on like so. The other side, you run your tape and you get your measurements there for your toe. We want an 1/8 inch on each side toe in. So for a total of like a 1/16 inch toe in. That way you're not scrubbing tires and it's not pulling the wheel. And I also bought a caster camber gauge. I'm shooting for like -2 to 3 on the camber, and slightly negative on the caster. Nothing extreme on the caster. But they're saying on all the performance sites on drag cars, they're usually the happiest around, -2 to -3 on the camber. So if I can't find anybody that's willing to do it, I just bought my own stuff. We'll do it ourselves. And I also bought some Moog upper control arm shims in case we got a shim. But we're running TRZ, fully adjustable upper control arms, so we should have some adjustment there. So we're like I said, we're real close on the biggest ticket items I have to buy now is the spring rate in the front was too heavy. Jason said we need to go like to 100-pound springs in the front, and coilovers in the back are too short, which I already knew that because I had the coilovers jacked all the way up just to get the ride height that I wanted to be able to get it on and off the trailer without dragging the ground effects and the bumper on the back. So I'm looking at a 19.5 inch overall. What was it? It'll give me a 16-inch ride height, 16 to a 17-inch ride height, and it's going to have like a 7-inch travel, either extend or squat, which we're running slicks. We're going to set it up for squat at first and see how that works. Everything's trial and error until we get it to the strip. And I showed you guys this before. This is our arc panel. It's got all the relays, the switch panel, everything for the wiring. So we're good there. We have our fuel system, which I need to take over to Jason's. We're going to mount some brackets for the fuel system in the back and the filters. We have our 501 Performance 5500 billet converter from 501 Performance. We have our Brodex HVH intake that's been ported, 1150 Dominator. So basically all of our big ticket items are bought. We got our transmission here. It's a TCI unit. Me and Tony's going to go through it. The one that he rebuilt. This is supposed to be like a $3,700 transmission. I picked it up. I bought the aftermarket JW Bell housing for it. But Tony said it ain't nothing to blow it apart. Just check everything and put it back together. It's supposed to have the best of everything. They rated it for 1,000 horsepower, as you can see on top. And I also picked up this other 400. Reverse manual valve body, trans brake, JW Bell housing for the LS. But the gentleman wants the bell housing back. But we're having issues getting the converter out. He put this trans in his truck, an Extreme Blazer, or a Blazer, basically just like mine, 5.3 swap. And he put it in gear, tires never moved. It welded the converter to the pump. And that's as far as it got. So he got another transmission. Tony's doing him up another transmission. I traded him shifters out of the El Camino, that TCI shifter. He's going forward pattern. And that was one of the reasons that I jumped, hurry up and put the original stock horseshoe shifter back in the El Camino, which I was going to do anyway, and get the council for it. Well, me dealing with this gentleman here, Steve is his name. What's up, Steve? I know you watch these videos. He needed a forward pattern shifter. And I said, well, I got the TCI. So, oh man, it's so much cooler in here. So we traded for this reverse pattern Hurst that he had on that 400. It sucks that he never, got to use that transmission, and we're playing hell getting the converter out of it. But yeah, I traded him even up. So now we have a reverse pattern shifter for the 400. And yeah, another item off the list. Come back over here for a minute. So, like I said, we are extremely close. That camshaft kind of, when I opened it, I was like, man, what the, I just can't win for losing. But like I said, I had a buddy check it out too, and he thinks it's just like a heat mark from the tooling. So, I mean, you can't touch your nails on it. It's perfectly smooth. It's on the mains, so it'll be okay. But yeah, so now we got a backup trans anyway, back to this. Me and Tony's going to try something else to get this converter out, which the converter is going to be junk. It's a brand new 3500. But it's going to be junk because I'm sure it spun the teeth off the converter. And Tony said it jammed the pump. So the pump's going to be junk in here. And whatever else got trashed, because Steve did take the pan off it and look, and he said there was a shit ton of metal shavings. But all that can be cleaned. So I'll have a spare valve body, a spare whatever else we can ravage out of this. We were going to use the forward drums and all that for Steve's, transmission, but Tony said his looked perfect. Ain't no sense of messing with stuff that you ain't got to mess with. So Steve's going to have a bad boy transmission. I ended up getting that transmission because I bought a valve body, a Cohen valve body for Steve for his 400. And I also bought him a B&M trans pack kit, which is like 150 something bucks. So hopefully I can get, 250 bucks worth of parts out of this transmission to make my money back. But yeah, I think they broke, whoever owned this before, I think they broke the bell housing. And then they sold this to Steve. And then Steve bought the LS Swap JW. And what me and Steve noticed is it's tight down here in the corners. And there's a big gap on this side where it's actually still hitting the case. I don't know how well you guys can see that down there, but there's a gap between the pump and the bell housing. So I think that cocked the pump sideways and didn't let the converter sit right. But I tell you what, it's hell trying to get that converter out of there. We will get it. He will get his bell housing back. I don't have no LS stuff to be able to use this bell housing. And the reason I told him that, I was like, 'cause look at the holes here. Let me get on this side. Maybe like a little better. You can see where the bolts actually started threading in to the holes. My camera must be getting sweaty. But even on the bottom one here, they started threading in. So that tells me that the bell housing was kicked, because your bolts should just slide through them holes easily and tighten into the back of the engine block. They shouldn't, it was like it was tapping it as it was going through. I don't know if you can get a good shot of that one or not. Well, if you can see, you can see. But if not, take my word. So yeah, extra 400 for parts. Our 400, we still got to do some trimming on our case because we're tight down here at the very bottom. It's hitting by the pan rail. So I got to do a little bit more trimming on that to get our JW bell housing to fit perfect. Jenny's Malibu. Chevelle, we're still collecting parts. You guys know I got the 461 Camelbacks. I was going to use this 71 Camaro block, but this thing has got such bad core shift. I really don't want to. See how thin it is here on the cam? Look how thick it is over here. That's what you call core shift, which I'm going to do a separate video on that because a lot of people don't understand what that is. But I just wanted to give the update on what was happening with the Blazer. As you guys seen, headers are pretty much done, but since we came back, we had to take the front tube off the passenger side, and he made it a little different, the contours, to match the driver's side, and he's got them fully welded now. And we're putting the seatbelt tabs in, which it already had 3, but I needed one for the crotch belt to the chassis. And then we're moving one of the back ones to one of the hoops on the chassis to position a little bit better for this big guy. The way they fit nice. And like I said, front end, and then I got to get my shocks ordered. And then we can scale it one last time. We were at 1,900 and change with a mock-up tranny in it, no fluids, and without me sitting in it. So if we can get into it all in for 2,400 pounds, this should be one bad mofo. If not, it's for sale for cheap. All the time and money that I put in this damn thing over 3 years, if it don't run a number I'm thinking in my head, which I'm not going to bench race and say it, but if it don't run close to that off the trailer, it's for sale. But anyways, guys, it's hotter than It's hotter than the Sierra Desert out here. Oh, one more thing. We got another set of 8-inch rally wheels that I'm probably just going to buy. See if he'll just sell them to me, because I want to actually tap them for screws. And we're going to be putting on our Mickey Thompson slicks that are over there in the corner. And we're going to probably do the Bay City Rollers race at LB Dragway at the end of September. And I told Jenny I did all this work to this car, the El Camino, and put the nitrous on it, 2-step, all that, and never got to use it. So I'm just going to mount up a set of slicks on the 8-inch rally wheels and pray and spray this son of a bitch one time at least. And then there's big changes coming up for this car over the winter, which I'm not going to get into, because if something happens, like it usually does around here, and it don't get done, I look like a douchebag. But I will give you a little bit of a hint what my plan is. This engine might be going in Jenny's car. Detamed a whole lot more than what it is. If I can't find a good engine, period correct, I have a bad boy engine that's bulletproof. That's a 355 that we ended up selling the 377, got the 350, it's the 358, it's 40 over, excuse me. But it's got forged internals, high dome, what are they? SRP, high domes in it. Studded crank, all forged H-beam rods. So, why not put it in here? So she's got something badass. We'll just change the pistons and possibly the heads. We'll go through these and put these heads on it and get her Muncie in there. Some 4-speed action. And yeah, why keep building other motors, engines that we know, that one's got a big core shift in it. So I know we drove the shit out of this one for 2 years. Haven't raced it at the track yet, but if it goes 12 something or a high 11, I'd be happy for a 358. Naturally aspirated. Of course, when we spray it, better to do better than that, but I don't know. Anyways, it's hot out here, guys. I just wanted to give you the update. I told you in the video I'd show you this camshaft and what the plan is for everything. So our own front end alignment tools, check. Do it ourselves, check. Camshaft, finally, check. Spare transmission, check. Wiring, induction system, carburetor, check. We get some shocks. It's going back together. Chassis-wise, it'll be all together 100%. I still got to pull the engine, and I'm going to check bearings real quick and put the camshaft in it, degree it, and start bolting everything on it. And then it's going back in that truck for good, and next season it will be at the track and rocking and rolling. But with that said, guys, as you can tell, I'm sweating my off. I'm going to go take a dip in the pool. But I really appreciate everybody for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll catch you guys on the next video. All right. Bye-bye.